joined by Omar Pruitt and Sean Sheldon. If you have questions for those guys, raise your hand. We'll bring the mic around. Coach Shaver will join us here shortly. Questions?
Yeah, I would imagine after the way the first half went, you knew they had another run in, and what did it take to hold them off there when they were getting hot from shooting range late?
You know, in the first half, they were missing a lot of open threes. Our defense looked a little bit better than I thought it actually was. In the second half, that was a big key for us to get out to their shooters. They started hitting some down the lane, and yeah, I mean, it's basketball. Every team's going to make a run at some point. So, you know, we just had to stay with what we were doing and execute like we were.
Sean, it seemed like you guys were able to beat them in the paint early, especially after last week. How big of an emphasis was that, being able to get in there?
We knew going into the game, we knew that they were going to switch on us. So we knew as big men we were going to get their smaller guards down in the post. So the key was, you know, just roll hard and seal them. If we could get to the ball down there, then, you know, good things are going to happen, and the guards were getting it to us. So we got some easy baskets down low, which, you know, is always good.
For either of you guys, how big were those baskets by Connor in the second half?
You know, he can shoot the ball, and he came out, and I think he hit 2 threes, and then he had that big layup. You know, he can change the momentum of the game, and you saw that in the second half that he can come in and hit big shots, and that's what he did.
For either or both, how much did the time off you guys had between games help you in terms of what you were working on and getting back to some of the basics, maybe?
I think that was really big for us. I mean, going off the last game we played at JMU, our execution was just really off the past those last 3 games of the season. And so, I mean, just getting back in the gym and working on what we do, you know, I think that really helped us in this game.
Just to build off Omar, you know, we had a week of preparation, but we weren't so much focused on what JMU was going to do. We knew what they were going to do, how they wanted to play us. It was a week that we really just had to get better as a team, and I think we had 3-4 good practices this week, and it carried into the game today.
Hey, Omar, could you, sorry, over here. Could you speak to just the value of the bench minutes that you got from the guys, especially in the first half when you guys were trying to get some traction?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a big key for us all season, I think. I mean, our bench, we have a lot of bench players that could be starters on a lot of teams. I mean, Connor, Greg, I mean, they may not be playing as many minutes as they'd like at some times. But, you know, having a bench like that, it makes it really nice because when you put them in, you're not losing anything from your starters. And so, I mean, I think that's going to be a real key for us in this tournament for sure.
For Omar, I cover Hofstra, and obviously now it's going to be a rematch of what was a fantastic game last year, and you had a great game last year. Do you guys attach any significance to that or any emotion? And obviously they've beaten you twice this year. It's pretty hard to beat a team 3 times in a row in a rivalry like this. So what are your thoughts on tomorrow's game?
You know, I don't really look at it as much as last year's game, I guess. We have a new team. They have a new team. So, I mean, it's going to be a fun game to go out there, play them tomorrow. They're a very, very good team. They have a couple guys that can really get hot. So, I mean, we're gonna go back to the drawing board, and hopefully we can get a win tomorrow.
If you don't mind reminiscing on that one, at least briefly, though, what do you remember that feeling being like after the game, and obviously a very dramatic finish?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games that you dream about as a kid. Daniel hitting that last second shot, I mean, that was amazing. You know, but it's a 3-game series. It's not a 2-game series. So I mean, winning one more is not what we're looking for this year. We want to win it all this year. So I think that's what I'm looking for most.
Omar, as you looked at film and whatnot from last week's game, did you see anything that you noticed that kind of helped you this time?
I think a big key for us was, I mean, the switching what Sean was talking about. At their gym last game, we threw it into him a little bit here and there. Probably should have thrown it into him a lot more. I mean, obviously this game, I don't know what he was from the field, but he played great. And when he has small guards on him, he's going to score every time. And that was a big key, even getting it into our big guards like me, Terry, and Daniel inside. And so I think that was a big key looking at that in film.
Sean, obviously with Hofstra coming up tomorrow, you're going to face a guy like Rokas Gusti, a CAA first teamer. What do you remember from those first 2 matchups with him this year, and how do you stop a guy like that?
You know, he's a great player, and I don't think it comes down to one guy stopping him. You know, we need to play really good team defense. And, like Omar said, we'll get back to the drawing boards tonight. We'll watch some film. And, it's going to take more than just one guy to guard him and Wanye. But it's going to take team defense, and hopefully we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Anything else for you guys? All right, thanks, guys. Joined by William Mary Coach Tony Shaver. Coach Shaver, your opening statement on the game, and then we'll open up for some questions.
Well, catch my breath here for a moment, but two things jumped in my mind, maybe two or three things. One was our toughness tonight. We were a tough basketball team tonight in almost every phase of the game. We out-rebounded a much bigger, stronger team, and particularly the first half, which set the tone a little bit. And our bench won the ball game for us tonight. I mean, that's one thing I'm so impressed with James Madison about is their depth, the quality of their depth. We didn't get a great start to the ball game, and Oliver Tott came off the bench when David Cohn got 2 fouls, and Oliver was sensational for us. Connor Birchfield is back. He hadn't made a shot in a while, but he played terrific for us. Jack Whitman was sensational off the bench for us. And Greg Malinowski, we expect so much out of Greg on a regular basis, but those 4 guys really turned the game for us, and no doubt about it. And the other thing, without having a chance to look at the stats so much, is I thought Sean Sheldon and Jack Whitman, 20 points and 11 rebounds between our post players. And we really made a conscious effort to try to get the ball inside tonight, and they really responded in a very positive way.
Questions?
Yeah, your post guys kind of cleaning up early. How big of an emphasis was that, particularly after the way last week's game went?
Well, it's a big emphasis. I mean, we've got a lot of confidence in Sean and Jack, and it wasn't just getting it inside to the post players, but something we call a real cut. We posted Omar Pruitt up a good bit, Greg Malinowski, Terry Tarpey a little bit, but we tried. They switch every screen, so in one of the cuts we make, we're going to have their point guard on Omar, and we wanted to take advantage of that. And Omar did a great job of finishing inside, and we did a great job of getting him the ball. So it wasn't just pounding it to our post players, but we wanted to get the ball inside tonight.
What made your 3-2 zone so effective tonight? And did that remind you at all of the defense you guys played against JMU in the second half of the game at Williamsburg?
Yes, it really did. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the zone's the same as it was the first game, the second game, and the third game. Maybe some small alterations. And sometimes it's a simple game. It comes down to who makes shots. And at James Madison, they made some really deep threes against our zone, and I probably didn't stay in it as much as we should have. And today, the first half, we were very active in the zone. Our rotations were very quick and precise. And again, honestly, they missed some shots they're capable of making too. But sometimes that's what a zone does to you. It makes you tighten up a little bit if you miss a few.
Tony, they made a couple of runs at you in the second half, which I'm sure you were expecting. But could you sort of talk about the way you guys handled it, and certainly making 17 of 18 from the line in the second half? Yeah,
that's the most impressive part of the night to me. Number one was our toughness. Number two, how we handled their run. I mean, boy, it seemed like they went for 10 minutes and not missed a shot, and part of that's our fault. But part of it's just that when you're down sometimes, you just get hot and the ball goes in the hole. But we responded really well to that. We showed a lot of toughness right there, good composure. I thought David did a good job of breaking their pressure. He's so valuable to us. I mean, so valuable. Press doesn't bother David a whole lot. So, and then of course, we went to the foul line, as you said, and made a lot of free throws.
Tony, what are your thoughts going into the rematch with Hofstra? Not only a rematch, obviously, last year, but 2 real close games this year.
Who do we play tomorrow? Hofstra. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're the big boys in the league right now. I mean, we've played them twice this year, and they've whipped us twice. So, but I'll tell you what, we're excited about the opportunity, no doubt about that. And we take this same toughness into that game. We're going to have that same toughness, but they're outstanding. But we really look forward to it.
Hey, Tony, you mentioned the bench, obviously. What did you need from those guys? Like you said, you were forced to substitute Todd for Cone, and then the other guys that came in. What did you need from them? What did you get from them in the first half especially?
Well, with Oliver, he really ran the show really well. He has a tendency sometimes to try to make SportsCenter highlights too often, and gets a little carried away. But tonight he was really solid with the ball, made a 3 for us. Connor, we need to make shots again, and he really did. I mean, boy, he played with confidence tonight, and Jack was just a warrior inside. You know, we need to bottle that and keep that as a part of Jack Whitman's play. And he was a tough kid tonight. So a lot of good things from those guys.
Hey, Tony, talk about the game plan coming up tomorrow against Hofstra. You played them. This is the third time. You know, what do you got to get going to get against them? Because you only have 24 hours, less than 24 hours to get ready for them anyway. So how you get your team ready to go?
Well, we'll be ready. We'll be ready. I mean, you know, you get to tournament play. If you can't play on 24-hour less than that rest, and then you're not going to win anyway. You know, so we'll be ready. Game plan, we'll work on that a little bit tonight. You know, we've not spent any time this week on Hofstra or who we might play second. We spent all of our time on James Madison. We got to be great. You know, we got to be tough. We got to stop Wanye Green somehow. I mean, he is a sensational player. I watched the first game tonight, and my goodness, is he good. He always makes the right play. So it all starts with him. We've had a very difficult time with, I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sorry, but Gustus inside. He's just eating us up. So we're going to have to be a really tough physical bunch tomorrow.
To build on that, we saw Tarpey kind of limp off there at the end. Was he cramping, and will he be good for tomorrow?
I think he's okay. I honestly don't know what his injury or what came out, but Terry's a warrior. He's a senior. He'll be ready to go. You might have a broken bone in there, and he'll be ready to play.
Is Dixon's wrist still kind of bothering him?
Daniel's fine.
Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thank you.